It is 7 p.m. on Tuesday, October 20th, 2020. We're gonna open the committee's meeting. Oh, lips and the tongue are not working well together tonight. Do a roll call, please.
Yep. I have committee members Chris Sample.
Here.
John Talbot. Here. William Lustinger.
Here.
Dina Simpson. Here. Jen Christensen.
Here.
Jared Down.
Here.
President Rick Worm.
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onabini. Here. I Clerk Sandy Monson here. Public Works Supervisor Brett Fergie. Here. Park Supervisor Nate Hill. Here.
All right. All kinds of blingy stuff going on here.
Time's up.
We're holding.
No, I'm sorry, I could have grabbed it.
Have we appropriately holded it long enough time?
Yes, I just need
Okay.
to get Tina on microphone.
All right. We'll move on to the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the September 15th, 2020 Committee of the Committees minutes. Second.
Dina makes a motion to approve the September 15th, 2020 committee meeting minutes. Jen seconds. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion passes 702. Move on to the officer reports. Anybody have any questions on the fuel report or water report? A and B under me. Moving on. Item C, we do not need this month. We actually did it last week. And we move on to Sandy.
So the first thing on the agenda is the FOIA report. I did receive a FOIA from the Painters District Council Local Union, with regard to water tower project documentation. You'll notice on there that I am waiting for the invoice from Ansel Glink to confirm the attorney's fees spent on that. I did have to confirm my documentation through them, based upon what was requested, and to double check my redactions.
Really, what did they ask for?
Copies of bid documents, contractor drug policies, timesheets, certified payroll, insurance policies.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, you name it, they ask for it.
Most of the time, they only ask for certified payroll to make sure you're paying union wages.
Yeah, they also ask for, the name of the drug company that does the drug testing and proof that the employees have been doing drug testing, and, yeah, it was quite cumbersome, which is why, Ansel Glink double-checked my redactions, and they actually redacted more than I would have, so we will see some attorney's fees on that.
Is it enough to pass on to the FOIA requester? Is it enough to pass on to the requester for the amount of work that had to be put into it, for reimbursement?
Not really. It as cumbersome as it was, certified payroll sheets are 3 pages, and so it's just cumbersome in reviewing the documents and removing what it was, which is not something we can pass on to the requester.
You are limited to what you can pass on to a requester
Yes.
for a FOIA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. They were very specific in what they asked for. The total amount of documentation that ended up being relevant to their request ended up being right around the limit of what it should have been. It was just having to sift through the entire water tower project folder to pull these out that was more cumbersome, and then the redactions thereafter.
I thought we were able to recover some labor when it was very intensive.
Yeah, but I don't know that they take into account the fact that we're just a one-man show, so.
Or the fact that you're paying an attorney. You can redact whatever you like, and then you have to justify it.
Yes, and so I did pay Ansel Glink to confirm the redactions. As I said, they redacted more than I had, so I'm kind of glad I asked them to review it. Any other questions on the FOIA report?
And just to clear up, the redactions were information that was not pertinent to what they FOIA'd.
Or it was personal information,
Okay,
so,
Which you don't have to give out.
no.
right.
No, the majority of it was personal information. Any other questions? All right, next on the agenda is the next 2 items, B and C, are both the contracts for the mold and asbestos inspection for Village Hall that you guys had said that it would be okay to move forward with, kind of find out where we're at. If there's no questions on those, I will just add them to the consent agenda for next week. The company that we did receive this quote from is a recommendation not only from Willa Hoffman, but somebody that we've used somebody that we have used recently for,
False alarm.
yeah, that we used recently, I think is last year, for the mold inspection in another part of town. Any questions on those two?
No, I see those a lot, and they're reasonable.
Yeah, I thought so as well. Item D is the, proposal from Willett Hoffman for professional services, for the Village Hall site study that you guys had requested Alan to do. So this is just the, services agreement that Chris has worked with Willett Hoffman in the past in doing. This one's just for the Village Hall site wastewater treatment plant study. Any
Good.
questions on that? All right, I'll
Good.
put that one on the agenda for next week. Not on the agenda. So after our meeting about the Sue Green project and the agreements and the village board deciding that it was not something it wanted to move forward with, the representative from the Sue Green project reached out to me and explained that he felt there was a misunderstanding in our interpretation of the agreement, asked to come and talk to this board. I explained to him that if there was a misinterpretation by our attorneys, then there must be something wrong with the agreement to begin with, or it's a little vague, or it needs some clarification. So I put him in touch with David, and David and the representative have been talking. The representative has agreed to, an addendum to the agreement that David is allowed to write up that would modify it to make it more appropriate for the village.
They paying those fees?
That I don't know the answer to.
Is this the
I'm sorry,
landfill?
John?
Is this the landfill?
No, the Sioux
No.
Green project is the utility project coming down the
The
Canadian
railroad, yeah.
Railroad.
Got it, yep.
Yeah. So at this point, the representative from Sioux Green has asked David to put together, kind of what it is that the village would need to see to make it a more acceptable agreement, and he has asked to come and present to the back to us, the next time that David is here. I did tell the representative that I would only be comfortable with his presentation at the same time that our council is here.
Can we piggyback on their, project about 4 miles?
I don't think so.
No, then.
Their agreements with Canadian Pacific.
Yeah,
So
they might let us play.
do you know what specifically, like he said he thinks we misunderstood what they were trying, do you know what that might be?
Yes.
Okay.
So in the agreements, there are these photos on the front page that show a big red box, which is the understanding of that's the land they're asking for. According to the, Sioux Green representative, that is the land adjacent to what they're asking for. And they're not actually asking for use of our land at all. They're asking for use of the land next to our land in the right-of-way,
Which is whose land?
the railroad.
And why do we have to worry about it?
That was my question to David, so I think
Okay,
he's trying to
cool.
figure out the answer to that as
Because that
well.
makes no sense.
Yeah, 'cause as soon as he said that, I was like, well, then why would we need
To
to
sign
sign
off on
off on
anything.
it?
Okay, cool.
And so I don't know if it's a fail-safe that, in case they go into that, or what's going on.
Well,
So-
they're paying us, they're not paying us for nothing, and basically speaking, they're not gonna pay us enough to now cover our attorney's
Interesting.
fees.
Okay.
We lose no matter what.
Yep, pretty much. We've already lost.
So then, does this, change to the agreement for the village trickle down to the residents that are along the tracks either?
That's a question for the Sioux Green representative.
Okay, well, just asking you if they said anything,
I had
so.
not mentioned
I don't remember
Good
what,
question, 'cause
what
it's
utility are they
another-
running
Yeah.
along there?
I have no idea.
I just-
They say it
It's
all, what
electrical,
utility
right?
they're running along the railroad?
Yeah, it's power from somewhere in Iowa into a station in the city. A few weeks ago, I sent everybody an email. It had a really good 3 to 5 minute graphic video.
I just don't
of
remember.
what it was.
Yeah, it's DC voltage.
Yeah,
I read
it's
it,
electricity.
Yeah.
but when we
DC
discussed it, I
voltage
thought it
would
was done.
require amplification every couple miles.
That I don't know about any of that, but, either way, so I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that this is gonna come back before you guys on the first regular meeting in November when David is here. David did take another look at the agreement after Sue Green came back and said, that's not what it said. So, we will see. I did, receive several phone calls on this from residents, and I have directed them to the video in which David spoke on it, and then, let them know that at this time the village wasn't signing, but we are not telling residents one way or the other what they should or shouldn't be doing. So that's just kind of where it's at.
It seems like most of the residents that have asked us have been like, when I've ran into somebody, they just wanna know what we did, because
Yeah.
pretty much they're following suit to what we did,
Yeah.
not by recommendation, but by like just, well, if you guys don't think it's like,
Yeah.
good, you're like,
Agreed, and I referred people back to that video, because David very clearly set out the reasons why he's concerned about it.
right,
And so I thought that was very helpful for our residents as well, who are being asked to sign this.
fair.
All right, that is all I have.
Brenda?
Sandy, put in the board packet, a memo that came out Friday afternoon about the Election Day holiday court order, that we talked about all month. On Friday, the Sangamon County Court judge ruled that the law to enact all government offices does not pertain to municipalities. So,
So he's leaving it up to the municipalities
Yes.
according to how I read it, though.
correct.
Right.
So then I'm assuming we will just be open as normal.
That would be my assumption.
Well, it would be,
Anybody else?
it would be
Well, do
you
you have a
guys.
recommendation, I mean, do you think that, I mean, do you have a,
Well,
like a feeling in one way or the other, like strongly about one or the other?
I don't care.
Does the school district get it off?
Yes,
Really?
yes.
They're not a municipality.
Well, I know,
Or-
but I'm
It's a
just,
gov- But you're not a government office.
did you always get election day off?
No,
You're
no,
not a government.
So what,
I'm so annoyed.
You lost one. If you you say they lost Columbus
We were off
Day?
Columbus Day too.
Not,
You were off Indigenous Peoples' Day.
No, we still were.
Sorry,
Yeah, we were still off.
my interloper coming out.
Yeah, our calendar was already made before they
Alright.
decided the election day was off, so our calendars are made 2 years in advance usually. So, we already had it off before they decided that we were mandated to be off on the election day, so we don't have a choice.
but you don't get every election day off?
We never have, ever,
All right.
so it's
Okay,
just
personally,
very,
I find that weird, 'cause it said government offices, and schools aren't government offices, which,
we're a government body though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
we
get
are
government money.
funded,
You're not a municipality,
we're not a municipality.
and they're not a state government office.
so is the post office gonna be closed?
No,
It's
they're
a federal.
Oh,
agency.
so,
Yeah.
that's why I'm,
That's why I just asked
Very
if you
confused.
have any, like, one way or the other, if you feel strongly about
personally, I don't care.
it, okay?
In all honesty, it only impacts about 5 of our employees.
And nobody seemed to have any strong
Um,
feelings about it, okay? Such 4 of you already, so, okay.
Yeah.
Then I would say we just visit
You know,
as
I
usual.
work for the state and I get the day off, and I think it's the dumbest thing ever.
I would agree.
I think that if we were in a position where we needed an employee to be able to vote appropriately, yes. And then in my clerk circle, I have been seeing that the offices that are closing are also those that are polling sites. Those that aren't polling sites are tending to stay open.
Well, and we're very fortunate that even no matter, like, for the most part, you can go just about anywhere and you can be 10 minutes from going to a
Correct.
polling site.
But you-
Whereas if you're in the
But
city,
you don't
that-
have to go vote.
I
You
went
could do it by,
one sector
you don't even have to do it by mail. I mean, I took my ballot to Oregon and,
election day, they have an obligation by law to allow them to go vote.
Mhm.
no, that's not what I'm,
And I
that's
believe
not what
that's
I'm
in our
saying.
handbook already.
I think you should have every opportunity to vote, whether it's, by mail, or you drive it to wherever the drop box is, or you do it in person. That's totally up to you. I just think that given, and I get the day off, that it's kind of silly because I can vote. I already did.
Yeah, I could still be,
We usually vote before or after work anyway, so,
so I would just recommend that we go business as usual and not do it as a holiday.
all right.
If that works for everybody.
I would agree.
Thanks for getting all this stuff, though. I know that was
Sure.
a lot.
And that's all I have for now.
All right, reports, committees, Jen?
Saturday, I had the drive-through Halloween/fall party. It were way better than I had expected it to. So, it was, I wasn't expecting a lot of residents, and it's greatly surprised me, so I was glad to see that.
Do you know how many we got?
Um,
Guesstimate. I know you didn't count.
well, no, I filled bags for 200, and I may have 20
That's
left,
awesome.
so,
That's perfect.
Yeah, I did see on Facebook that several people had commented that they enjoyed the
Mhm.
stuff that was in five.
they did, I did get a lot of,
I saw kids that, like, literally were just getting out of their vehicles over on Harvest Glen, and we must have been leaving as they were coming in their driveway, and they literally were just got out of their vehicle, and parents were starting to walk, and all three kids are like going through the bags like nobody's business, and the mom was like, come on, and it was so cute, because the kids were like, dude, I'm opening my bag, you gotta be kidding
I
me.
had some that had their orange, trick-or-treat buckets, and they would stick them out, and they went, trick-or-treat! I was trying to stuff the bag in there,
That's cute.
in the corner, there you go!
Sounds like they had fun with it.
Yeah, it was fun, so. The next thing is, what do we do for the Christmas? Do we even wanna look that far?
I haven't even thought about,
I'm just saying.
I have not thought about Christmas yet.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that, things won't be back to normal.
Right.
Yeah, and it certainly, I doubt, will be better.
Have someone dress up as
No,
Santa
my
Claus
guess is
and
you're correct.
stand in the back of
I
the
already
truck.
I already have him booked. That's why I'm asking.
The
You already
horse
have what?
carriage, Or the
Who?
horse and
The big
sleigh.
man booked, Santa. I
Oh,
already have
okay.
him booked.
Excellent.
That's why, so I can,
Gosh, I wanna figure out how to do like a little virtual
Could
Santa
we-
thing.
Will you be able to go to the subdivision? I mean, if we don't do a party, if we have them booked?
Can we do a slate?
I don't know if he's, yeah.
good luck with that.
You probably didn't sign up for that.
Could we do something similar to what you did for the fall party, but have Santa there to wave at
Sit out
kids
there,
in
I
the
can,
car?
I
Yeah.
can see.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
And maybe even see if the church will come and sing carols while you hand out bags and stuff
I
too.
can.
Kinda do it drive-through style for that. I know it's not ideal, but.
No, but
there
that's why I
are
was just
some
wondering,
things.
because like I said, I do have some things
I
booked.
think
and-
I still think that'd be cool.
I don't know where you're gonna have an alternative choice, because the max we're gonna have is 50 people, right?
Right.
And I doubt that'll
And
even
that,
be the
and a lot of
case.
No.
that usually is my organization volunteers that are there.
Yeah, I think you are correct. So, yeah, I think you should do it again. I like the idea of Santa being there and like waving at the kids and whatever.
See
And
if the
we
church
could
will come and
see if the
sing.
church can sing. If they can't sing, we can play like holiday music, and it could
Right.
be fun.
I mean, I had a few ideas, like what I could do, like I said, I could have Santa sit out on a bench and. No, I did it at the fire station. I had them, come off of Junction, and I had cones set up, and they just drove through, and then to the alley, went either way in the alley.
Kinda like the coffee guy, always,
Yeah, kinda like how the coffee guy sets up.
Okay, so you'd probably do the Christmas parties, if you follow.
Yeah, that, I would probably do the same thing, and like, there's benches out there, like I always pull in the one bench anyway, that Santa sits on when I have it inside, so I could, do that and do something. So, the people who I used to come help retired, and Mrs. Claus, called me and donated all of the things that she found in her basement, that they used when they would go and do this for their season.
They had extra stuff in the workshop?
You would not believe,
Santa always does.
I
you
know.
Yeah.
would not believe the things that I collected.
That's awesome.
Yes, it is. So I'm kind of thinking of doing like a grab bag type of a thing, because she had all these paper sacks that they would do when they would
Yeah.
give it out to kids. So I kinda may do that. Let's see, I have to kinda go through everything and organize it.
Mentally, I'm out of control. I wanna just hang stockings and let each kid go pick a stocking.
Yeah.
I'm out of control.
Well, I did.
Focus.
Well, I did, try to think of how I could purchase decent stockings and fill them and hand them out.
Yeah.
But to find decent ones,
They're a fortune.
it's costly.
Yeah, I know.
because I had looked and I thought, ooh, if I could do this, this, and this, and it's, you know, not knowing how many to plan for, and that's where, with the fall party, I was like, how many do I plan for? Because I didn't wanna not do enough, and I didn't wanna run out.
You did 200?
Yes, I believe,
now
I
everybody-
believe so.
Now everybody knows about it and everybody was happy with it, so what if, like, and you had 20 left, what if you did 250 and you'll be about, yeah.
You know, I just, so, and I mean, I did have, you know, some extra things set aside if I went through them all, but prior to the 2 hours running out, so. But, so, and, I also have the, blood drive scheduled for Thursday, December 11th. I do not have hours set yet. We used to do 1 to 7, and last year we went down, I think it was 3 to 7. And I'm not sure because I have not gotten the material, so I don't know what time it's gonna be yet. So I will pass that on as soon as I know. I just know the date. And that's all I have.
Will
Alright.
it still be at the fire station?
Yes. I don't, I should say, yeah, I don't know if they will have it in there, 'cause sometimes they plan on doing it in there, and sometimes they bring the bus. It depends upon what else they have scheduled that day.
Okay.
So, I'm done.
William?
Looking through my emails, apparently it's been 9 months since we had Soria Faldudo out here to update us on our investments. Didn't know if the board wanted that presentation again to find out where our money is and how it's doing.
Just not on the same night that David and Guy from the railroad, or not the railroad, the other place is coming, So Green, yeah. Just a different night.
No, I haven't scheduled it.
I always like.
Typically, I give them a month or two of notice, and they have clients in Stillman and Byron, so they like to schedule us
Plan
all
all
on the
together.
same night, and we typically don't have a problem.
I was super impressed with what they shared last time, so that would be great.
I will reach out to them and get a date. I'm assuming we want it on a committee night, right? If possible.
Please.
Yes.
So not November 10th.
No, that'd be too soon. For reference, last year, I emailed them on November 20th, and our meeting was January 21st, so
That works, okay.
we got plenty of time. That's it.
All right, Parks? John?
Nate, is that yours? It's on
Yeah.
I love that
Okay.
note, by the way.
Oh my God.
That
Okay,
note is
I have,
awesome.
I have to share this, how this note arrived at Village Hall with you. I was sitting at Village Hall and I'm listening to all these kids outside, and I'm like, I don't know what they're doing out there. I was here late, and I go to leave Village Hall, and that note fell out of the front door. So they were spending their time out there making that very nice note to the DJ Board of Directors.
I think it was super nice.
That's cute. I do
Kids
think
be
that's
able
really
say
cute,
thank
to
you.
show that they put forth
Absolutely.
that, to do that.
Sure. No, it was cute. I do inspections, try monthly to check on stuff, and I noticed that the skate park needed to be fixed, and there were little kids out there playing, and I was like, hey, guys, stay away from this area, I'm gonna fix it, and I fixed little bits and whatever, and I told them, I was like, hey, if you see anything, just grab one of the guys in the carts and let them know if you see something break or something's messed up or whatever, so, yeah, it made me smile, it was a nice,
It also kind of, I think, speaks to the fact that probably as you're making those repairs, that at least those kids will be, respectful in taking care of it as well.
Sure, and they have ownership in it for sure, and so it's their park.
I love their recommendations,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
great.
Well, I know, like, during the farmers markets, they were over there on scooters, the younger kids, and they would come, and talk to me and, stuff like that, and say things, and, and asking if we were gonna make it bigger so they could accommodate the younger kids on the scooters who are learning and trying to copy
Sure.
the bigger kids.
Yeah, it's getting aged, so that will be something I'll keep an eye on and for upgrading or at least redoing at some point in the future, 'cause it is showing some wear, as by the repairs I made. Real quick, another couple little things, I'll be approaching, the board for, purchasing two new, utility carts, two new, gators. We have two that are one's 12 years old and one's 10 years old. And so I got 3 quotes. Fine, I got the other quote today, so it wasn't in the packet or whatever, but I was just gonna bring that up. It's about $20,000 and it's in the budget for equipment. The other thing that, I need to finish working on is Fergie and I were talking about replacing the Bobcat the skid steer snow thrower that we have. It's aged and, getting worn, the impeller and the cutting edge. So I've got a quote from Bobcat of Rockford for that as well, and that's also within equipment budget, probably about $7,000 to replace that. But we just had to figure out trade-in stuff, so, whether or not we just buy one outright and they buy ours back, or we sell the one that we have. 'Cause it's hard to get 3 quotes from Bobcat when there's not 3 Bobcat dealers nearby, but Kubota, I was able to get 3 quotes, and, Johnson Tractor gave a very nice trade-in value for our 2 utility carts, so, it'd be if we went with them, it'd be $20,700 for 2 new, utility carts, so I'll be bringing that to the board.
2020s or 2021?
They are current, well, they'd have to be produced because they don't have them in stock, so they would probably be 2021. They're Kubota RTV 900s, diesels, workhorse utility vehicles, very nice, very similar to the ones we have now. So, that's it. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I'll be bringing those forward here in the next few weeks.
Oh, those are cool.
So just so that if any of them or their parents watch this video, so what are the plans for the skate park based upon their note that they're requesting, like what is?
First thing was, they mentioned the cracks, and they're currently out crack filling right now, and I did mention to David, and I have to talk to Fergie and double check if we can just zap the cracks in the skate park real quick and the bike path. And then, like I mentioned earlier, as far as expansion, you know, certainly because of the age of the skate park, as it's gonna need to be replaced, and we can look at modifying, expanding, and upgrading it, or replacing it at that time, which will be sooner than later.
I'm amazed at how much usage that gets.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And it is tight. I mean, it's more for a skateboard, type setup. But there are BMX people who use it. There are the
Scooter.
razors, the scooter people who use it. So I can see why, they would wanna have a little bit more space there and maybe some different features, 'cause I think it's just skateboard, features right now, and, so yeah, when we would look at, changing it or upgrading it, we'd look at those things for accommodating all the users.
Did you have something on a snow blower?
Rick has pulled up an agenda that is not what your board
Oh.
packet has, so that's actually not on your
Where the
agenda.
hell did that one come from?
You've got my pending approval one
Oh.
as opposed to the one in the board packet. But I think Nate did mention that.
Yeah, I did. We're just,
Did you have an F-150 to talk about tonight?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't you forgot Jared.
I'm not ready to move forward on that one. I still need to get.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you forgot Jared.
I took it off you.
Well, we'll be ready for it now.
Yeah.
Jared?
Nothing at this time.
He doesn't have the technical stuff.
Chris?
So if, anybody's been past the old wastewater treatment plant area, you'll see that basically the ditch is in. They've concreted the entire thing. They're following up now with, landscaping, which actually it looks pretty good to me.
It does look good.
The whole thing does, and hopefully hopefully it'll do 2 things. One is help get the water out of the subdivision when we do have heavy rains, and then, make sure that we don't have standing water in the future like we had at the end. So, and it looks like it'll take care of it. I think they did a nice job myself.
It looks clean.
And I think by Autumn Wolf, a lot of times that tall grass would, it would hold.
Oh, no, we definitely
Right.
had standing
Right.
water right there, on the far side
Right.
of
The
Autumn
culvert.
Wolf, yeah. I mean, I went past there and looked one day, and there was standing water and a dead rabbit and all kinds of other
Mhm.
stuff. It was pretty disgusting, to tell you the truth. But there was also a low spot there.
Right.
That now they've taken care of, so, you know, we should have, and there's no fall from, you know, I walked out there with the engineers, and from one end to another, there's such a small fall that it's hard to get rid of the water, so this should take care of it. They've started work on the Autumn Wolf extension. They've got a lot of that cored out already,
Yeah,
so
they've been, they
yeah,
were working on it.
yeah. I don't know how much they'll be doing the next few days, and I'm not sure how far they'll get before weather, precludes them from doing any more work, but hopefully, you know, they'll get as much done as they can.
They were rolling the base today.
Yeah, I stopped by on my way here, and they had, you know, it's still, there's 2 feet down from the top, so they still got a lot of stuff to put in there.
Here's my question, if it does not get done, completely done, is it gonna be blocked off so people
I
can
assume we will.
drive over it?
Yeah, we couldn't, we wouldn't wanna leave it there. I don't even know how far that'd get. Right now, they have equipment blocking it.
Oh, right, but I just
Yeah.
know we have
No,
those,
we would have to block it off.
we have those that would,
Try it.
We'll have to see where they get to, you know, quite frankly, the engineer was recommending that if we could put the first layer of asphalt on and then let it sit for the whole year, and I don't think that's feasible, because that'd be very expensive, so, you know.
Yeah, but
if we-
that's not gonna cost us anything more, that's on their end.
No, it would cost us, because we would be the one telling them to put a layer down, and then wait until spring to put a second layer down. So your choice is either wait till the spring to put it all down, or you get it all down before the weather shuts down the asphalt plants. He was saying,
That costs us more.
When's he looking at
because
having,
they have to mobilize twice, you know, and nobody's gonna bring out all their equipment, put down one layer and let it sit, and then come back out without charging you more money. We didn't ask them for that in our.
It was a one-shot.
when do they plan
Yeah.
on doing the asphalt?
They don't, well, it depends on how they can get done, but right now, I would think that they should be able to finish, wouldn't you?
They're still putting asphalt on,
No, the plants are still open.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and they probably will be until November. It really depends on the weather, right? You know, we're supposed to get rain tomorrow, and who knows how much more rain or how much, or if it gets cold, you know, and we can't finish it. At the time when we were discussing it 2 weeks ago, you know, we didn't even have the ditch done. And he sends us, the engineer's sending us the minutes from the meetings that he goes over, and it looks like it's going pretty well. Yeah, so I don't think it'll be an issue. That'll be our last project for the year, so we should be pretty good. I just wanted to keep the board up to date on that, and if anybody else has any other questions.
Will we have any projects that are gonna hold over other than? the
No,
one-
we finished them,
Everything will be done, so we shouldn't, at the end of the budget
Yeah.
year, shouldn't have any holdover payments?
you know, and that was it, we will, because, well, go ahead, Brenda.
Other than the final payout from warranty,
Yeah, well, we
That's
will,
normal.
usually every year we have something over
Right.
because of the last payment.
that part's understandable.
But we should have paid for, the Ogle Crossings one, that should be basically done. There might be a certain retainage because of, landscaping.
We released it.
Yeah, did we,
I think
totally for
that
Ogle
one's
Crossing?
pa- I
Yeah,
think that one's done.
all right, well,
I have spreadsheets that I can.
you know, I'm sure we've already paid for the A2, you know, A1 covering on Edson. And what was the
Yeah,
other
that
one?
one's done.
Pacific Avenue's been released.
Yep, there you go. So this will be our last one, and,
Mhm.
That's good.
you know, I'm sure we'll have retainage on that though, 'cause that was a bigger project. We haven't paid all that much on that either, so we'll be having to make a few bigger payments coming up, I assume.
This project, we probably will have some bigger a lot at the end.
But that
I
should
don't
be maybe,
foresee that.
that might be in this fiscal year though, right?
I
But-
don't think it all will be.
Not all of it, but it should be a
Just
good
from-
portion.
Just from used to seeing,
I mean, the concrete people had at least a third of the project and they're finished. Well, and they're not totally finished,
well, they
but
just
they're
got their
basically-
first payment and that wasn't very much.
Right, I know. It wasn't very much at
So
all.
we'll see.
But it's still 6
Let's
months.
see, but
We still got 6 months.
I don't think it'll all be in this budget year.
I'm sure it won't, but I hope, hopefully the vast majority, I already discussed it with the engineer and basically told him I wanted to get as much paid in this fiscal year as possible.
Well, yeah, we always do that.
Right.
We always do that, but,
But those aren't bulk payments, that's just retainage.
10% or something,
Checklist.
right?
Yeah, normally,
it's
it depends
5%.
on how much,
5%.
it is 5% now, once you have 50% of the project done. It's 10% until you get 50%. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so our other thing is, a truck we would like to purchase, and what do we wanna purchase? 2021 F-150 pickup truck, and there were 2 bids in the packet. And we're going with the lower bid, even though I don't know how it's the lower bid, because I thought it was a state thing and they all should have been the same.
Yeah, I mean, they're never gonna be 100% identical, but yes.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions on the truck? No?
What's this used for?
Well, we're gonna take the current truck that Fergie's, driving around, that we used to plow and we're gonna use it as part of the fleet. It's a little too old to trade in. I mean, we could probably still get some decent value for it, but it's probably more valuable to us to keep it as a plow truck and then not spend the money to make the truck that, this F-150, which Fergie will drive around, so that we don't have to put all the additional stuff on there. We're also in the future, in the next couple of years, probably gonna have to, I shouldn't say trade out, we're gonna have to purchase a couple new trucks. What did you tell me, one is 2003?
Yes, one of our trucks is an
And
'03.
what's the other one, 2006?
Well,
You told me the two,
The 550's the '03?
no,
no, we're talking smaller.
Kyle's
Pick-
250
yeah.
is with the service box in the
Jamie's
back
truck.
is an '03.
Jamie's supervisor truck,
The one we bought used?
yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And then what's the other one?
There were two, what was the other one?
Well, the other one, we'll have to do the white, what we refer to as Kyle's truck. Eventually, we're gonna have to look at our service truck, that is an '06. And that would be, the other one is George's truck at Wastewater Chris. That's the other one I was telling you about.
That was it, but that
that's
was,
Dina's.
sorry, that's Dina's. Or we can
Yes.
split that, he says that we have
And
part
then-
of it. I don't have an issue with that.
And then if we wanna, like I said, if we wanna kind of explain this, then next fiscal year, I will need to do the combination backhoe.
We do need to keep the inventory, somewhat more up to, date, because we probably shouldn't be keeping trucks that are a 2003 truck that's been sitting for, well, not sitting, but we've been using for now 13 years. You get no value or very little value out of it. It's better to trade these trucks in after they get maybe 5 years, get some value out.
We didn't buy that thing 13 years ago.
Well, and isn't that what that packet's for?
No,
When talked about
when we
moving
bought it,
from
like
location
7 years ago, it was an 8-year-old truck,
Right,
yes.
I say, it hasn't been around that long to,
No,
But how many have we bought new that
but the
we,
intention with that vehicle was, it was not supposed to be a work vehicle.
what was it?
A supervisor needed one to commute to inspect work and everything else, and he bought it cheap off of a government site to use as just a commuter vehicle,
Then we got our money's worth, huh?
absolutely.
Alright.
But-
But it's probably time to start thinking about replacing them
It's-
before they start costing us more money in maintenance and repairs than it's worth.
it's a 6.0, it needs to go.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, so,
We bought it in 15.
Yeah. I say, I know it hasn't been around that long.
yeah, used.
It's an '03, so it was already 12 years old.
I did run some just general numbers based on replacement and stuff, and we're looking at $200,000 a year in capital equipment and vehicle replacement.
Denied.
Well,
Well, I'm just saying, like, based on a schedule and like Chris had mentioned, like a 5-year replacement, 8-year
Sure.
replacement for vehicles, it kind of tallies out to about $200,000 a year.
You know,
what we have to be careful of is, we're not gonna replace the '08, we're buying another truck, and we're gonna keep the '08 around. In 2 years, we're not going, we need to replace the '08 with a different truck.
no,
No, that'll be leaving.
your truck will be staying around more than 2 years.
No, you said '08,
Yes,
the one, the diesel?
the F-250, it was bought for utilities.
The diesel,
Yes.
yes, that's going away. Yes, we will be selling that outright.
6'4",
That,
6'7"?
that truck needs to go down the road.
I'm sorry, what are you doing with the red one? That's the 2008?
Well, we have two of them. We have a gasser and a diesel. One's an 8, one's a 9. George drives the 9, the 8 sits, over here that Parks used until they bought their new 150.
Right, which
Yes.
we're not replacing this truck. We're replacing
No.
Fergie's truck. Actually, if you wanna be truthful, it is a kind of a shuffle. The red one, the 2008
Well, I'm
going.
saying, if we're not gonna sell a truck, we're gonna keep it around for, that's what I think you just got done saying.
No,
We're not
but
gonna put a plow on the new truck because we're gonna keep the other one around the plow.
Except for
No,
that, we're
that's
getting
my
rid of
truck,
this
the
one.
15.
Okay,
But they're
Not-
getting
not the
rid of
8,
this one.
The 15.
well,
The
that one.
2008, right?
Number 3?
Is the number 3 the one you're getting?
Yes.
Year,
But I thought 3 was going away to replace the one he's already got,
Truck number 3 has already been approved for disposal.
because of the one he's already got.
Because of the one Nate.
So we are getting an extra truck.
Yeah,
We are getting an extra
Yeah.
truck,
All right.
yes, but yes, the 08's kinda not in that equation. It's like going anyway, but yes, correct.
but I'm not gonna ask you to purchase a truck to replace his truck in the next 2 years.
No,
I was trying to make sure
No.
that whatever we're getting rid of
No.
is going away,
no.
and that we're
No,
not
the
hanging on to it,
550 has now
having all these
taken
trucks,
over-
Then going, well, now we need one to
How
replace
much,
that one.
well, here
No.
was the difference.
No.
We could have traded his in and replaced it, but it was going to be over $50,000, and we didn't have the money in the budget for that. I figured that we had about $35,000 to replace a truck, and that it would be better if we kept his truck, which is still in relatively good condition, and can still be used for plowing, which means it'll last longer, because it will basically be used for plowing.
Well, no, it'll be used every day,
Really? Why are you gonna use it every day?
because I'm short a truck. I have
Oh.
guys that are using their personal vehicles
Oh,
to
I
do
see.
jobs for the
Alright.
village, because I don't have a vehicle. I'm
Alright.
using my F-550 for a gopher truck and a pickup truck, and I'll go to Menards truck. I am short a vehicle, so this will put another truck in the fleet, so the crew has another pickup truck to use on a daily basis. So no, it will not sit through the
Yeah,
summer.
I didn't
It
know
will
you
be
were short
used.
a truck.
Oh, absolutely we are. We have been,
All right.
yes,
Is there,
yes.
can I butt in for a second on what Nate had said, and since we have this, because it's so much easier for like, people like me to refer to truck number 3 as opposed to the 08 6.0, blah, 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 250, 550, whatever. So, I'm gonna be honest, I'm
I
probably
totally
like
agree.
75% of the community.
You probably got half those disassembled in your driveway.
I might, and they're like, you know, we're working on that, so,
Yeah, kidding.
If you say Bob's truck, I know what that is. Anything else, I don't get.
yeah, so like, it's really,
Yeah,
so like,
Bob's
is there
truck
a
is
way,
a sore
with
spot.
knowing what you did and what you're talking about, like planning out, how you said like capitally, that's like 200,000.
What do you mean?
Is there a way to like, if we put on a plan of what
Hmm?
would like to be done, so we actually have kind of
With
a
Bob's truck.
Was Bob's
I've
truck.
updated that,
projected plan?
I've updated that when I added my truck, and then if we get another one, I can do that, and then
Bob do it?
Fergie and I have talked about a replacement schedule,
That way we actually have like,
and
yes,
estimated replacement date, kind of.
that would be lovely,
200,000 a year for the way, it's fairly high.
thank you.
So,
That includes a
The 08
backhoe,
Going
a
away.
new big
We just got a
dump truck,
20, and now we're gonna get a 21.
other, so average,
For what?
So you're talking long-term, that's
Yes.
really.
I'm talking,
You
yeah,
replaced his 2008
if we
With 20.
follow,
with a 20.
you know,
and now we're
5 year
gonna
for
buy a
vehicle,
21.
8-year for
We're
equipment,
Outright.
not get outright, but we're not
10-year
getting
for
rid of one,
certain other equipment.
because he said he's short a vehicle.
I'd like to at least,
Mower.
I thought it was just gonna
That's
sit
all
there
equipment, not
and
just
use for plowing, but if you're short a
No.
vehicle, that's fine. That's
No,
no-
it will not sit. It will definitely be used,
All right.
yes.
Well, we're not gonna be short a vehicle in the wintertime, are we? I mean,
No,
all them people, I thought that's why to shuffle people around, we bought that, 6-seater golf cart.
in the winter?
that's in the
No.
warmer months.
In the wintertime, we lay off people, right?
Oh, right, yes, yes, yes.
So, the summertime, I thought we bought that golf cart to cart people around.
Yeah,
That was when we were doing diamond repairs.
Yeah,
and
that I-
Dragging diamond, that was for the
That's for
seasonal help
but that
more
doesn't
so
help
than
like travel.
No, it was also purchased to help with the event,
the event
Yeah,
ta-
that's
taxis and.
renting out golf carts every time we had an event.
For
Right.
people that park far away.
Alright,
200,000 is a little steep on the replacements, but we need to replace them.
No, we revisit that.
Instead of having one huge buy where you have to buy a bunch of vehicles at one time and hit your budget hard, it's better to space them out over time, and having a schedule would be best.
Having a
To
plan.
clarify, that's equipment and vehicles,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not
Right.
just
It's like
vehicles.
lawnmowers
That's-
and
I
everything.
understand.
That's lawnmowers, backhoe,
That's
Right.
everything.
track hoes.
Well, we're already spending, $50,000 to do that a year already.
Right.
I have 50 in my budget, plus another, some for
Right,
equipment
and
and stuff. so, I
we've
mean,
made other purchases in the years before you got here of equipment too,
But we don't operate in a capital expenditure format. We are always able to absorb those purchases in our general budget. But I know what you mean, and we do have to have added funding. And can we update this when?
That would be lovely.
I've got it.
Thanks, Nate. Thank you.
All right.
So what
Any more?
gators are you replacing, now that I have this out?
Two green ones.
The two green ones?
Let me ask Fergie though. Fergie, got anything else?
The carts, it'll be the
Straight.
Bobcat
No.
2200
There we go.
and the 6x4 John Deere Gator.
Those are great. That's
And
what
it-
you're planning on doing?
Yeah, we're trading them in, and actually we've getting a pretty good trade-in
Was,
compared to the,
sorry, one thing before we move on, if you don't mind.
So you get another toolcat?
Wait,
Yeah, I said we just,
correct.
And
The club
Club
car,
car.
they call it the
Toolcat?
club car, it's a Bobcat 2200 UTV.
On the
It's probably not on there.
fifth page,
50.
yeah, 2010,
Yeah, 2010.
it's right underneath the Kubotas.
So,
sorry, bottom.
you did mention to me that we needed to replace the backhoe
Correct,
in, what timeframe?
the next fiscal year. It's my
Next
plan.
fiscal year,
Yeah,
you wanted
I
to
can budget for it.
replace that?
Yes.
And that was, how much did you
I
estimate?
don't know, we haven't spec'd one, but I'm figuring, I don't know. I mean, we
N-
could,
new or
I guess
used?
90 grand or 100,000.
New or used?
That's a tough call because those pieces of equipment get used and abused when you buy them used.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, yeah.
Well,
Um,
I'm sure every
so
piece of equipment.
If we're gonna look at used, I'm gonna be extremely picky, and it's gonna be difficult to find one probably to, suit our needs. So I'm gonna say we're gonna look at new, and we will attempt to find a used.
Have we had many issues with this one?
Oh, yes, yes, it's rusting away, we've done
I
engine
mean,
work.
previous, that was normal,
Well,
not rust.
it is nickel and diming us now.
Might as well get a case. or an-
We have a,
Sure.
basically like a parasitic drain, we just now put a master switch on it because we're not trying to find it anymore, we're just isolating the batteries.
So what are we using
Yeah.
the Bobcat?
It's an '06, I believe, Rick.
What are we using
It
the
is.
Bobcat compact excavator for?
That is used for when we do ditch work, when we do water leaks, when we have major sinkholes, when we do anything to where we have to get into the ditches or, any type of grade work where we're redoing an entire section of ditch.
That thing is a godsend for doing ditch work.
Yes, that's what that's,
Cause they can roll along and continue to do ditch work.
No, I
Or
know,
backhoe, they have to
I
keep
know
resetting.
exactly what it is,
Yes.
I didn't wanna spend the money on it, I can remember when we,
yes.
when
It is,
when
it
came
is,
through.
in my opinion, is an absolute necessity in this village with open ditches.
Alright. So there you go, that's apparently on Fergie's agenda for next year.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
everyone has an agenda.
is there any problem with the purchase of the truck being on the consent agenda next week?
I don't,
In the budget?
What color is it?
White. Oxford white, thank you.
oh, wow.
We're gonna put a train on it, just kidding.
Oh, don't even.
Just kidding. Just
We'll
kidding.
spend another hour talking about what kind of.
Just
no,
kidding.
we've already unified the train, it's on the tower. That's done.
I just couldn't resist.
No stick figures.
Are we taking it to, Ben, I'll
Hey, when we get off the stick figures,
prepare it now,
we could do a
Huh?
sharp stick.
prepare the board now.
Yes, it's going to, thank you, William, yes. We will probably, I don't know, I know Nate had looked at Benel for doing a type of package on his 150. I am kind of partial to some of the lights that they use at Benel, so we'll have to decide that. It will go in for a Line-X bed liner, it will have a toolbox, obviously it'll get striped, probably in DeKalb or in Line-X where, Nate had his done, 'cause literally we're buying it from down the street from where that will happen. Exactly. The only thing will be lights. I'm gonna be fairly picky on my light system because we are out on the streets. So I like to go heavy on emergency warning lights, for our own safety. So William and I have had this discussion over the years many times about having
You're
more
allowed
lights.
to have the amber and white, right?
Correct, and we run
Because
whites.
you're authorized.
We have now, not to drag this out in a different direction, but if you've noticed, our newer dump trucks have a lot better lighting than a single 1985 rotator on the roof. We spec our trucks and we max them out on lights for our own safety. So we do the same with the pickups now.
So all the trucks
And you end up
specced out.
with a parasitic
Yes.
drain and you have to throw in a
Yes,
master
so,
cylinder.
but the rest of the work will be done, same place Nate had his Parks truck done.
Wiring sucks.
So, yes, thank you.
Anything further, Chris?
No, I didn't know why we went that far.
Dina?
I'm gonna look at Fergie and say if you could update everybody on the water tower project.
Okay, it was just for clarification, Chris, that's why.
Okay, thanks.
Anyway, sorry.
No,
Okay, so we began, yesterday, we put our 5%, we began our filling process, of the tower. We did our 5%, then you have to add, we calculate the amount of chlorine it cooks. It cooked through the night, and then today I began filling the tower. We ran into some issues about an hour in. The system is wanting to go into automatic backwash mode. I won't get into all that unless you want me to, but for right now, it's a bad thing. I go in at midnight every other night, and I backwash the system. I backwash, then I charge our water system or distribution up, then I backwash again. So I'm there, and then I have to run the system. I open a hydrant, I run the system, I try to pull what breakthrough of iron we have out of the system. So sometimes it's a 3 to 4 hour process. But anyway, and I do that so that way we don't have to backwash during the day, because I don't have the capacity in our temporary system to backwash, because it takes about 40 minutes to do it. I don't have 40 minutes of time with our temporary system. So anyway, it went into automatic backwash mode, a little bit of a panic situation there. We were able to cancel it, go back online, spent some time on the phone, tried to go back into backwash mode, or into the mode where we're filling the tower and the system at the same time. About an hour in, went back into backwash mode. So I've been dealing with a guy from company called West Tech, who is basically, they own US Filter now, that's our brand of filter. Him and I talked for about 45 minutes this afternoon. I've got a few ideas, I will try them. I'm going in tonight at midnight to backwash again, 2 to 3 times. I will try these things tomorrow. I'm not 100% confident it will work, but cross your fingers, we'll see what happens. Otherwise, I don't know, we're still working out the details. So, yes, the tower is done, we've started to fill it, we're working on it. So, that's all I really have for now, is we're trying. So we've got to get this little bug figured out and why it's doing this to us, so. But that's really about it, unless there's any questions.
Feel something got damaged when they were painting the tower or anything?
No, that has nothing to do with the backwash system, no. Nope. So, we may have it figured out. I'll be testing that theory out first thing tomorrow morning, so, hopefully this guy's right and we'll be good to go, so.
Sounds good.
Thanks for talking.
So, nope, no problem.
Can I speak on something? So I forgot to mention this earlier, and this is kind of both Chrissy and Dina, so I'll just mention it now. The attorneys for 3Bs and Mark Heinley have been able to, the village attorney, has been able to come to some sort of, agreement for them to connect to the village water. So that will be presented to you next week. 3Bs is hopeful to get it signed and hopeful to get connected to our water system before this year is out. I told them that we will continue moving forward at, the quickest that we can, but they still have to get we still have to get the IDOT permit too. Rick, I did tell Mark that I would discuss with you whether or not you would like his attendance at the meeting.
I saw that.
So, we can discuss that later, but just so you guys know and expect to see that in your packets next week. We're hopefully to a point that we can approve the IDOT permit and the 3Bs agreement next week.
Thank you.
Anything further?
No, thank you.
Anything on unfinished business? We have no public, unless anybody wants to be public.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Jared makes a motion to adjourn. Chris seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. We're adjourned at 7:55.